Welcome to CB200 5-minute focus. In this video I thought I'd have a quick look at the centre stand. It's been a bit of a popular question I've been sent, and I'm working on the pegs and the side stand at the moment, so I've got a few bits accessible, and I thought we'd start at the bench first. So here's the centre stand. This is the old one that came off. I ended up having to cut it off because the pin had seized inside, and I need to deal with that. But you've obviously got the centre stand. You then have this bracket or plate piece, hole at one end and a differently shaped hole to the other end, and then you've got the centre stand main spring, and the main spring is about 11.5 centimeters long. There you go. But we'll jump to a bit I filmed earlier on trying to show how this all works together, and the spring attaches on the right hand side of the bike. So this is the left hand side of the bike with the peg for putting it down. Right hand side of the bike has the hook for the actual spring to go on, and then you've got the smaller end of the spring. So it basically works a bit like this. Long end of the spring on there, then the spring, short end of the spring on there to this plate, and this end here of the plate hooks onto a pin that comes out of the frame. So we'll cut to the bit of the footage I filmed earlier on trying to show that, while I nip upstairs into the attic at the old frame to see if we can get a closer look at the bits that this all attaches to up there. So yeah, have a look at the bit that I filmed earlier on trying to show how it all works together. So here we have the centre stand bolt coming out on the right hand side. There's the centre stand just there, and also on this bolt goes the rear brake lever as well. But the spring for the centre stand, which is this one here, attaches to this little lever, and it hooks onto a small stud up inside the frame. I don't know how well we'll be able to see it. So let's see if we can get you right up in there. So just in there, I don't know how well you'll be able to see, and so that then gives some lever action, some pivoting point for the spring. So I've popped up here into the attic and looking at the spares bike frame. If you don't like cobwebs, you might want to look away now. But so with the frame is standing on its end, so apologies for sort of it looking a bit upside downy, but let's orientate. So this is the bottom of the frame here, and then we have the hole here for the pin for the centre stand. So the centre stand sits the other side of this plate on the inside here. The pin for the centre stand comes out through here, and then this is where the rear brake lever attaches that you saw in the previous section of video. And literally right above here is this pin, and this is the pin you want to pay attention to on the frame. There is another pin forward of it here, and this one is for the rear brake spring that comes off here. But this little pin here, so the plate that you get hooks on to this pin. That's why it has the large hole to go over the pin and the small hole to keep it on the pin. And then you attach the spring onto that plate, like you saw in that bit of video, and then that gives it its lever action for the centre stand to be down. So yeah, so that's what you want to look for on the frame, is that pin. So that's the top of the frame up there. This is the bottom of the frame. This is the hole where the centre stand pin comes through there. The brake lever attaches here, and there's this little lug, this pin that sticks out above the frame, and the forward one is for the brake lever spring. So there we are. Let's pop back downstairs again. So there you have it. So that's the main parts of the centre stand. So there's obviously the centre stand bolt or centre stand pin, whichever you want to call it, centre stand unit, this plate, and obviously the spring. And the bolt goes from, or pin goes from the left hand side of the motorbike through the frame, through here, out of the frame the other side, and then onto it goes the brake lever. This then attaches on the pin just above the hole, and then the long end of the spring hooks onto the brake, short end of the spring goes onto the plate on there. There you go. I hope that's helpful. There you go. CB200 5-minute focus, centre stand. Cheers. Bye.